Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to The Sanctuary. I'm your host, Professor C, and we're going to be doing some more A&P today. Specifically, we are going to look at tongue muscles, extrinsic, the ones outside the tongue, and intrinsic, the ones inside the tongue. So, let's give it a lick. So, the question of the day, for this lecture anyway, is, are you a tongue roller or not? Try it real quick while nobody's watching. Have you been told in your lifetime that it is a genetically inherited trait? If so, I want to go ahead and bust that myth that it is not genetically inherited, at least not how they teach in class. It is a learned trait. So it's much like children learning to whistle when they can't whistle and they just keep practicing and practicing. It's kind of like a child in the United States anyway, learning to say a hard R sound, right? A lot of kids will say, let's go to the car instead of let's go to the car. And they learn to do that after they practice many times. And it turns out that children can master faster than adults can, just like with language. So we want to look at here the muscles that move the tongue, not only those ones that lie outside the tongue, like you see with this word here, extrinsic, meaning lying outside the tongue, but we want to check out the ones inside that help you fold up your tongue. So there will be three extrinsic that are going to hold your tongue down to the bottom of your mouth and move it around, mainly to move food around in your mouth, to make speech sounds, to swallow, and of course to stick your tongue out like that in case you want to lick a lollipop. All three of them are going to be innervated by hypoglossal nerve, cranial nerve number 12, and it's that one that we've talked about running through the hypoglossal canals under the occipital bone, if that sounds familiar to you. So here they are: Genioglossus, HYOGLOSSUS, and STYLOGLOSSUS. You can see the common theme here. Glossus is the root word for tongue. And all three of these names are based on the attachment. So if you know what the root words mean, you know exactly where the attachments are already. But let's try it together. So genio is chin. So chin, tongue. So what you're looking for in genioglossus is right here. I'm going to outline it in red. Now you can't see all of it because it's kind of hidden by those other ones. But there is genioglossus. What about hyoglossus? Hyoglossus. So it's going to go from the hyoid bone. Now, we have not talked about the hyoid bone specifically yet. I'm saving that for the next talk if you want to check that out. But the hyoid bone is this little bone right here in the throat. And this muscle here that I'm outlining is hyoglossus, going from the hyoid bone up to the tongue. And then that leaves styloglossus. And again, based on its name, it should go from the styloid process. We've seen that little pen-like pokey thing hanging down from the bottom of the temporal bone. And it's right here where I can point at. So again, we need to go from the styloid process to the tongue with styloglossus, and there is styloglossus. Okay, now that I've shown all three, let's check out the details. Really, we just, want to focus on actions because you can read the rest on your own if you need that. They're going to protrude, that is stick out, and bring down, depress the tongue. The hyoglossus will pull it back and bring it down. And the styloglossus will actually be the one to help you say the R sound, whether it's a hard R or just an aw, soft aw sound. It helps pull back and elevate the tongue, especially the tip of the tongue. If you wanted to do a sound like rrr and roll your R's, called trilling, that's what you would need to use is your styloglossus. As far as being able to fold up your tongue in like a cloverleaf pattern here, you need to use your extrinsic a little bit, but really you need to fold up your intrinsic tongue muscles. All of these intrinsic muscles will originate and insert within the tongue itself. So the tongue is just not a single muscle. It's a lot of muscles that overlap each other. That's why you can make these patterns if you are prone to. So one is called verticalis. One is called transversus. There's a superior longitudinalis and inferior longitudinalis. Those are the four. And sometimes you just hear them called the vertical muscle, the transverse muscle, superior longitudinal muscle, and inferior longitudinal muscle. Here's another example of cloverleafing, a little bit of folding. There's a tongue twist, and you're doing all of these using these four muscles. And then, of course, you can see animals using this to clean their face, and lick other things around them. So, go get some ice cream and practice anatomy. Hope you enjoyed that one. Check out some other videos in the series. I'll see you for more. Bye-bye.